everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Jessica. I am a communication professor in a university in New York, and I basically also do YouTube and Instagram, and I'm a reseller and all sorts of things. So I really love luxury goods, the pre-loved market, and workwear. You can follow me on Instagram at Chicprofessor, and I would love for you to subscribe to this YouTube channel if you are not already. I'm going to be starting a new series on this channel about workwear. Since that is a focus of what I do, I want to dedicate a couple little videos right in a row to that subject. So basically what I think this is going to be is, I think I'm going to call it something like must-haves for the stylish workwear woman or something like that. And I'm going to be recommending some of my favorites as well as kind of breaking down the basics that I think a working woman, especially a stylish working woman, should have in her wardrobe. So because my channel has a lot of luxury and designer handbags, and that is a big part of my audience, I'm going to be starting with bags, and I also have a huge love for shoes, so I'm going to be ending the series with shoes. In the meantime, I will be discussing kind of basic shapes and silhouettes that I think everyone should have, or at least try, for dresses, blouses, and also for pants. So those are what I'm going to be talking about. If you do have any specific questions, please leave them down below, but I'll be recommending brands or some of the styles that I think are the best to have. In terms of handbags, I am going to be discussing designer and luxury bags, and I'm going to be starting with the lowest cost and working my way up to the highest cost. None of these I bought for their cost. I bought them all pre-loved for a fraction of the price. So please do know that just because they retailed for a certain part in here does not mean that that's what you are going to find when you search the pre-loved market for them, if you're interested in that. I almost have a video on all of them, I think, so I will also link any extra videos I have to see more detail about each bag down below. So let's go ahead and get started. So I think I'm going to be covering 10 bags today, and some of them are stuffed a little bit funny and some are not. But these are bags that I do recommend and ones that are sort of tried and true in my wardrobe. So the first one is the Longchamp Le Pliage. This is a very common bag. I see it all over both the university and just in life. It's a really great travel bag, and I actually use it more for travel than I do for work. I find the nylon to be slightly less professional, and I have this love of leather, and so this does get less use than some of my other ones in terms of work. But when the weather isn't great, or I'm traveling, or I'm just carrying a lot, or I'm going somewhere that it might get dirty or something like that, then this is a great option. Similarly, I also have another version of this bag. So this is the other version. That one was the large Le Pliage, and this is the medium Nero bag. I like this one a little bit more. I think it's a little more sleek with the black on black. I really like that, and it has the long shoulder strap. So again, I do use it more for travel than I do for work, but I also have other black work totes, so that's one of the reasons for this one. But I do think they are really great bags to have. The next bag that I want to mention I actually don't have anymore, and I do recommend it, but it just didn't work out particularly for me. And that is the Tory Burch York tote. I know that there's the Perry tote and a couple of other ones, and I've tried those, but to me they didn't feel quite as, let's say, solid, and I threw around that Tory Burch York tote and it lasted really well. It didn't work for me because I didn't love the open top, and I also did not like, it has an attached, well, you'll see if you watch the video down below, I'll also link it. It has an attached laptop holder, a padded laptop holder, and I didn't really carry my laptop, and it's not attached at the bottom, so I would find that all these things would kind of fall to the bottom and be a bit of a mess. So it just didn't work out for me, but it is a bag I absolutely recommend, so it's one I wanted to include on this list. So the next bag I have on this list is the Dagny Dover. This is the Midi tote, but really all of the totes I think are great. So this is the smallest size. I have a video on it, just like a lot of these, so I'll link that down below. But I also have a video comparing this one to this, which is the old mini tote, which you can find online quite a bit. I am actually selling this one, so if you're interested in this, then let me know. But these are coated canvas. They are awesome in terms of their organizational ability. They have a ton of pockets inside, nice, big, thick, comfortable handles, and these ones in this particular size come with a long crossbody strap, which I know is really helpful for some people, especially if you're traveling on public transportation or doing a lot of walking or something like that. So the next bag I have on my list is probably the only one that isn't necessarily considered a tote. There might be one more, the last one maybe considered more of a satchel than a tote, and this one might be as well. Otherwise, I personally love a tote for work. That's what I prefer, but this kind of works and fits the bill similarly. This is the Phillip Lim Pashley tote in the medium size. It does fit everything well, but it's tight, so it's definitely one of my smaller bags. I do really like the long crossbody strap, and you can also buy it in the backpack form. This leather is really great for work because it's pretty much scratch proof. The hardware, as you can see, is not. I don't have it attached right now, but the hardware gets scratched pretty easily, but the bag itself is really pretty indestructible, and it does have kind of like a cool edge factor while still remaining classic. So it is a bag that I like and I recommend. Some people say it's heavy, and maybe the older versions were, but I find that this is actually pretty comfortable to carry. And again, it's on the smaller side, but it does fit a folder, which for me is key. That is what I'm always looking for. So that is the Phillip Lim Brea Tote. So my next two bags are also going to be coated canvas rather than leather. That last one was leather. It was a shark embossed leather, I think. This is a discontinued but wonderful bag that you can find pre-loved. It is the Dior Brea Tote. I adore this thing. So it's coated canvas, but it looks like lambskin, which is great. It does have leather on the straps and piping, as almost all of my coated canvas bags do, but it does snap at the top, so it's similar to a Neverfull, but it's not exactly the same. I will link the video down below if you want to see a little bit more, but I just think it looks really classy while not being delicate like lambskin, so you can kind of throw it around and use it for work, and I just think it's a really great option. So the next option that I have is probably the most popular. It's the one almost everybody knows, and that is the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. This is the MM in Damier Ebene. I really like this bag, but I don't love this bag. I know a lot of people really, really do. I would recommend it because I think it does work well for a lot of people. I don't prefer an open top tote, especially one that doesn't really clasp all the way. I know that you can kind of put it together, but it doesn't clasp all the way. And I also find that the straps are a little thin personally, and it doesn't hold as much structure as I want. However, for a lot of people, this is the perfect work tote. I especially like it in the Damier Ebene or the Damier Azur because I find that they're a little bit more professional than the monogram. But it is a great tote, and it can fit a ton of stuff, and a lot of people really think that they last for years and years and years. And of course it's Louis Vuitton, so it is a less expensive option for a luxury house, and it is a great bag, and so it had to be mentioned in the list. So the next bag on the list is one of my favorites. This is the Mulberry Bayswater. It's the heritage version. I really like all of the new ones, especially the zipped. I have a love of the zipped Bayswater, and I hope to add it to my collection eventually. But the heritage one, I think, is obviously the most classic, what they continue to make, and it's a beautiful, durable bag. Love the leather on it. It's nice and thick. The straps are not as long as other shoulder straps, but you can get them on your shoulder, and the sides are adjustable, and it's just a beautiful, very classic bag, and one that I definitely recommend for work. It's a great option. So the next bag I'm going to be talking about is one of my absolute favorites. It started my love of luxury. I adore this bag. This is the Prada Luxe Saffiano Tote. I really like the Luxe. It's in the large size, but there are a few others that are just a classic Saffiano tote like this, and I think that's what I would definitely recommend. I wish they would come with one with a closed zip top or something like that, or flap or something that would allow it to be closed rather than an open top, but I just love the classic silhouette of it. I love the Saffiano leather. It's just a beautiful bag, and I really adore it, and I think it's perfect, and it gets a lot of use for me in the warmer months because of the color, and I'm really happy with this one. It is the second to last because it is the second to most expensive, but it is a great bag and one that I definitely recommend. So the most expensive bag that I have on this list, which is most expensive bag that I use for work, is this, which is one of my absolute favorites. It's the Louis Vuitton Brea Tote in the black epi leather in the GM size. You do definitely need the GM size for work. I think I can just fit folders. It really just fits documents. If you don't carry documents, it's got a little stuff on it. If you don't carry documents, then you don't necessarily maybe need the large size, and you may find it easier to use than I do. I really do have to kind of stuff my things into it, but I find the design so sleek. They don't actually make the GM anymore in the epi. They have some vernis versions, but it's very similar to the Alma and other bags, and really what I want to emphasize is that I think epi leather is a great option from Louis Vuitton for work. It's more indestructible, it lasts better, it has more structure, which I find better for work, and it's also much less obviously branded, so I think that that's all wonderful options about it. The Brea Tote in particular also comes with a long strap, which makes it a little bit more usable for a lot of people for work, and this is the other one that I was saying may not be a tote, it may be more of a satchel shape, but I just absolutely adore this one, and I would recommend it, and you can definitely find them pre-loved. So that's it for this video. I did mention ones that I have in my collection that I have loved, that I have tried, that I've used, and that I definitely would recommend. There are some others that I know people really adore, so One could be the Givenchy Antigona. That one didn't quite work out for me. I found it a little too bulky and the straps were a little too small for my taste. I also didn't love the big zipper, but it is a great bag and I think it's really beautiful whenever other people carry it. Another one is the Saint Laurent tote. That one is really popular. It didn't quite work for me. I actually found it was basically not structured enough for me. It was just kind of a floppy leather tote, and I also found that I didn't love the open top, and I didn't love the top of the bag itself. It didn't really have any kind of finishing. It was kind of just chopped off, and it just felt a little cheap to me for what it was, so that's not one that I wound up loving and buying, but it is one that I know a lot of people do recommend. So if you have any others that you love, please leave them down below so people can check through the comments and see other ones that could be recommended, but these are my particular loves and ones that I wanted to share with you all. So I hope that you enjoyed. Please do consider subscribing and liking this video if you liked it, and I hope to see you in a future video, and I hope to see you in the rest of this workwear series. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye.